All right, so let's have a look at suite number 9047 on Explora II. And this is what they call a Premier Penthouse Suite on Explorer II. So this is my second time on Explorer, and the first time I was in what they call a deluxe penthouse. And what I like about this one is a little bit more of a separation compared to the deluxe penthouse. So I'll show you what I mean afterwards. But let's just have a look around here. So this is the walk-in closet. So you can see over here they've got some house coats, of course, some nice robes, and then you got your slippers as well. You can see you got the vanity where you can sit here and the ladies can do their makeup. And down here, one of the highlights, of course, everyone seems to really enjoy on Explorer, is they got these nice Dyson hair dryers, which I don't know a lot about, but I've heard there's something like $600. So obviously that's a nice hair dryer to have in your room. You can see you got the little chair and everything. And then you've got lots of space here to hang up things. You can put, I think this is almost for like jewelry, or if you want to separate, have some things separate in here. So this is kind of a nice little feature. Then you've got lots of little drawers and stuff. So lots of space to hang your stuff up. So you're not gonna have to worry about bringing whatever clothes you want. You're not gonna have any trouble there. Now this is the, let's have a look at the bedroom. This is a nice king size bed, so huge bed. That's going to be super comfy while you're here. You can see, like, this is what I mean about the separation. I'll show you how that door closes in a minute. But when I was in the deluxe penthouse, it was all one big room, which was gorgeous. But this does feel like a separate bedroom, so it kind of gives you that more at home feel. So if you want to kind of feel like you're at home, this could be a good room to look at for sure. And just look at the little touches. I mean, even being able to just lay your phone down on the nightstand and not having to plug it in, you can just do the mag charge. And then of course, if you don't have a phone that can charge without being plugged in, you do have the USB and USC and all that. So you got that on each side, and same thing over here as well. You've got another charger on the side. So just really nice to nice and convenient to put all your devices on in the evening. Nice size TV. I would say I have no idea about sizes of TVs, but it's got to be at least 40 inches is my guess. And then we'll have a look at the washroom. So these are nice kind of marble looking heated floors, which is awesome. I have heated floors at home and I would totally miss them not have them here. So it's really cool that they have them, because not a lot of cruise ships do. There's only one sink. That's probably about the only downfall of this room. Who doesn't like double sinks? But that's about, like I said, the only issue that I can see in here. They've, of course, got their own, this is their own products that were made for them. So they got this mandala blue stuff, so hand and body soap. You got your body lotion and stuff. And nice big mirror so you can do your makeup, shave, whatever you need to do. And then we'll go over and we'll have a look in the, shower. So same thing in the shower. They got the different products. You got your hand and body soap, your body wash, we'll call it, shampoo, hair conditioner, so whatever you need. And then I always love when they have, this is kind of the way I have it at home as well, where I've got the rain shower, which I use mostly, but then you got the handheld when you need to use that for other areas. So it just makes it really easy. And then even if you need to, sit down for whatever reason, or maybe put your legs up if you're shaving or that kind of thing. So again, really nice feel washroom, glass. You don't have that whole curtain like some of them do still on cruise ships, believe it or not. So a much more modern feel. Now let's go over to the living room area. Actually, you know what? I'm going to come from this angle because I think it'll give you a better feel. So again, I just came out of the bedroom, which is to the left here. And then now we're going to kind of walk into the living room area. So when we come over here, let's just look on the side here. So you can see here you've got your coffee set up. I don't drink coffee or tea, but I think this is an espresso, I believe. So they got the machine here if you want to have that in the mornings. But yeah, I'm not sure which one it is, but you probably can recognize it if you're a coffee lover. Down bottom, they've got the included mini bar. So you've got you can see there's Cokes and Sprites, and there's some beer and stuff. Whatever you want, they'll bring. So just tell them, if you want to customize. I mean, everything's about service on board Explorer. So whatever you want, they'll bring. No worries there. You can see you've got the safe in one of the drawers. All the other drawers are just, put your clothes in, or maybe some of your outdoor things. Now, one of the nice things here is you don't need to worry about water. You'll see in the room they've got still water, sparkling water. They'll replace that as you need it, so you're going to have lots of water whenever you need that. There's a bottle of wine here. They always give you a little bit of a welcome bottle of wine. There's also a welcome bottle of champagne, which I'll show you in a moment here. They even have a list of some things you can get put in your suite. So again, if you want some, I think they'll do 2 bottles of spirits, if I'm not mistaken, or some wine. So whatever you want, just let them know, and your suite host will bring out all that here for you. Of course, there's an in-room dining menu here. I'll probably show you that in a separate little video because that's always one of the highlights is in-room dining, in my opinion anyway. And then as we walk into the living room, you know, like as you can see, it's kind of a totally separate feel. And that's what I like about this particular one. I mean, I loved my deluxe penthouse last time, but I have to say this Premier Penthouse, just to have that separation is wonderful because if one, you know, one of the people in your room wants to sleep a little longer or stay up a little later, it's just so perfect. So again, over here you've got the big TV. Again, you know, you're not going to need to worry about seeing that. It's quite big. Lots more drawer space everywhere. So there's lots of places to put your things. Just little touches. They'll even put binoculars here, so that if you're seeing something interesting outside, you can check it out a little bit closer. Of course, there's some welcome things over here. I mentioned earlier there was going to be a bottle of champagne, and you know, they give you a little welcome there to say, you know, nice to see you on board. So that's always a nice highlight. You can see just a few little snacks in that. And I remember last time there were some regular flowers in the room, but of course, because this is the week before Christmas, they got some poinsettia there, which is great. And then earlier I mentioned about the water. You can see they've even got water bottles so that you can fill them up when you get off the ship on excursions and stuff. So, you know, just all these little touches that, you know, you just don't need to want for anything. And speaking of not wanting for anything, if you're the type of person who does some working out when you're at home, again, like I said, they want you to feel at home when you're in these rooms. So they got the Techno Gym bag. Now, if I'm not mistaken, for the penthouses and higher, they'll automatically put these in the room. So this is, you can see like one of those rolling things for your back. If I'm not mistaken, there's a yoga mat in there. There's some of those weight straps. And then I think for the regular ocean terraces, I don't believe these are in the rooms for everyone, but you just need to ask and I'll bring one to your room. So I'm pretty sure that's the way it is if I'm not mistaken from last time. So like I said, it's all about making you feel comfortable in here. You got your separate little bedroom, your separate living room. And then of course, one of the highlights is that every single room on board Explorer has a nice terrace outside. You know, call it a balcony, call it a veranda. Explorer happens to call them terraces. Whatever you call them, they're just really nice. I mean, who doesn't like to go outside during your cruise? You can kind of sit outside, have a little bit of room service, which I definitely did last time, and I know I'll do this time as well. But to me, one of the highlights of an Explorer sailing is that they have these little terrace day beds outside. So, I mean, look at that. I mean, that's a nice place to just sit down and read a book or do some scrolling on your phone or whatever you want to do. I mean, have a chat, you know, with some people back home and tell them about the beautiful things that you're seeing. So again, we're just in the first port here today in Barbados, so the views aren't spectacular at this moment, but you know, as you can imagine, when the sun's going down or you're just out in the middle of nowhere, it's going to be gorgeous out here. So again, this is the terrace on the Premier Penthouse with the beautiful David out there, and the table and chairs to have a bite to eat. So there you go. I don't know if I said this earlier or not, but this suite is right around 550 square feet, if I'm not mistaken. And it's beautiful. I mean, I've been on, you know, this is, I think, my 92nd cruise, and I've been in a lot of rooms. And this is definitely one of the nicer ones for sure. So gorgeous room. If it works for you budget-wise, you won't be disappointed. And again, they call this the Premier Penthouse on Explora II.